Have you ever witnessed someone bounce back so hard that it makes their ex look completely ridiculous? Well, if you haven't, you're about to. Melody She is living proof that resilience, focus, and authenticity can completely flip the script on someone who thought they had it all figured out. She didn't just walk away from the mess that was her past. She rebuilt herself from the ground up. And the results? They speak louder than any post, caption, or courtroom filing ever could. While her ex, Martell Holt, is out here trying to play happy family with a side chick turned main, Melody is moving like someone who's finally taking full breaths after being underwater for years, and it's beautiful to watch. From the moment you look at her, you can tell that Melody is not just surviving. She's thriving. There's a calm power in the way she carries herself, a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation from social media likes or public applause. She isn't screaming from the rooftops that she's winning because she doesn't have to. Her peace is loud enough, and every video she posts, every event she attends with that radiant glow and genuine smile, communicates a strength that's earned, not forced. People notice it. Fans, followers, even casual viewers pause mid-scroll just to admire the energy she brings. The kind of energy that comes from healing in places that once hurt, from rebuilding a life on solid ground, and from knowing that nothing external can shake her inner stability. But it's not just about Melody herself. It's about what she's doing for her kids. That's the real story here. The love she pours into her children is authentic, tangible, and powerful. This isn't an Instagram fairy tale with perfect lighting and carefully curated captions. It's her goofing off with them in the car, cheering at school events, dancing in the kitchen, and being fully present in everyday moments that actually matter. It's the kind of parenting that judges, fans, and casual observers all recognize as genuine. Her children aren't just surviving, they feel safe, loved, and prioritized, and that's what makes her victory so profound. Meanwhile, Martell, on the other hand, is looking like someone stuck in reruns of a show nobody wants to watch anymore. He tried to flip the narrative with a full custody filing, likely thinking he could cast himself as the hero dad, the concerned father fighting for his kids' best interests. But it backfired spectacularly. People didn't buy it. Fans and casual observers alike saw it for what it really was, a control play. And let's be real, nobody suddenly decides to file for full custody out of the blue unless there's an underlying motive, usually tied to ego or an attempt to hurt someone. Instead of being praised, Martell's actions exposed the chaos and dysfunction that were already part of his life. That move didn't elevate him. It highlighted everything he thought he could hide. And speaking of messy, let's talk about Ariane. Every time she and Martell attempt to make a public display of their relationship, it flops. It's like watching a reboot of a show that never should have gotten a sequel. Polished family photos, cryptic captions, and forced smiles aren't enough to erase the history. People remember the cheating, the drama, the receipts, and all of that history colors how the public sees them now. Martell can try to spin the narrative all he wants, but the authenticity isn't there. And Ariane? Instead of building her own identity, she's stuck reacting, posting shade, clapping back at fans, or trying to make a point online. It's exhausting to watch because it's transparent. The fans can see who's focused on peace and progress and who's desperately trying to prove they're unbothered while their social media screams otherwise. Melody, in contrast, doesn't flinch. She's far too busy building her brand, expanding her reach, speaking at events, and showing up for her children consistently. That consistency, that's real power, that's growth. That's what keeps people rooting for her. Martell, who once thought he had all the control, now looks like someone who underestimated the woman he lost. He may have once dominated the narrative, every camera angle, every live stream, every post strategically calculated to maintain an image of control. But now, that grip is slipping fast. His smiles appear tired, his social media posts feel like damage control, and every attempt to rebrand or reshape his image is getting buried under the weight of past receipts and ongoing scrutiny. The irony here is sharp. Martell filed for full custody thinking it would flip the script, make him appear as the responsible, loving parent who cares deeply about his children. But it didn't. Instead, it exposed him as someone using the legal system as a weapon, someone motivated more by ego and spite than genuine concern. And while he tried to punish, Melody continued to show up for her children with unwavering consistency, earning admiration from both fans and neutral observers. Suddenly, he wasn't the involved dad anymore. He was the one trying to manipulate the system to get back at his ex, while she embodied the kind of motherhood judges and fans respect and celebrate. Meanwhile, his relationship with Ariane hasn't helped. On paper, Martell might have thought that turning a side relationship into a primary one would shift public opinion. Maybe he thought better photos, curated captions, and a polished appearance could erase the past. But the public doesn't forget. People remember the beginning of their story, the cheating, the betrayal, the drama. No amount of filtered photos can rewrite that narrative. Every time Ariane posts shade or attempts a clapback, it only reminds the audience of the chaos that started it all. They're both trapped in a loop of trying to convince an audience that's already made its judgment, chasing aesthetics instead of authentic growth, and it shows. Forced happiness doesn't stick. People can see through it. Meanwhile, Melody's energy is a masterclass in authenticity. She doesn't need to announce her happiness, it radiates. Every event she attends, every public appearance, every moment spent with her kids speaks louder than words ever could. That's the difference between performing for an audience and genuinely living your life. Fans notice when someone's energy is aligned with their actions, and Melody's alignment is flawless. Her consistency, her presence, her engagement with her children. These are the things that build trust, create safe memories, and establish a real sense of security. It's no wonder fans have shifted their attention. They're no longer interested in watching Martell and Ariane perform. They're invested in Melody, the woman who has rebuilt her life authentically and gracefully. Her power isn't just in her ability to bounce back. It's in her grounded approach while doing it. She doesn't need to drag anyone, make public statements, or engage in petty drama. Her life does all the talking for her. The quiet confidence she exudes, the peace she maintains, and the deliberate steps she takes each day, whether it's launching a new project, attending her children's school events, or simply being present, communicate far more than any online post ever could. That authenticity is magnetic, inspiring, and relatable. People see a woman who survived a storm and came out not only whole but thriving, and that's a story that resonates. Every move Melody makes feels intentional now. She's not here to prove anything to anyone. She's here to live intentionally, to raise her kids in a stable, loving environment, and to build her brand and personal growth. Meanwhile, Martell and Ariane are stuck performing for an audience that has moved on. Every passive-aggressive post, every forced couple photo, every cryptic caption, fans see right through it. Happiness isn't declared every 5 minutes. It's shown in everyday actions, in consistency, in genuine presence. And Melody exemplifies that in every possible way. Even in moments where it might be tempting for her to react, Melody doesn't. She maintains her composure, her grace, and her focus on what truly matters. That self-discipline, that intentionality, that commitment to real life over social media drama. That's what separates her from the rest. Martell may have started this battle believing he could win by tearing her down. But what he didn't realize is that a woman who has found her peace multiplies her power exponentially. She is unshakable. She's unstoppable. And while the other side struggles to maintain a curated image, Melody simply lives her truth. At the heart of this story is a lesson about resilience, consistency, and authenticity. Melody didn't just get her life back. She rebuilt it stronger, healthier, and more grounded than ever. Every day, she shows up for her children, grows her brand, and engages with the world in a way that's both inspiring and aspirational. She's not loud, she's not performing, and she doesn't need to be. Her quiet confidence, her intentional actions, and her unwavering focus on what truly matters make her a force to be reckoned with. And that's why people root for her. That's why strangers, single moms, and women everywhere feel connected to her journey. The contrast between Melody and Martell couldn't be clearer. While she thrives on consistency, authenticity, and presence, he's left scrambling, trying to control a narrative that has long passed him by. Every post, every PR attempt, every forced smile only serves to highlight his desperation and the futility of trying to rewrite history. Melody's life is the real flex. Her peace is her power. Her family is her priority. And nothing, not custody filings, shady posts, or bitter acts, can shake that. Melody didn't just survive her storm, she walked through it and emerged glowing. She's grounded, she's intentional, and she's building a life that's authentically hers. And while Martell and Ariane continue to perform for a disengaged audience, Melody lives unapologetically, unbothered, and unstoppable. Her story is one of empowerment, resilience, and authenticity, and that's why it resonates so deeply with anyone watching. It's proof that peace, consistency, and genuine presence will always outshine chaos, performance, and ego. So if you're taking notes, here's the takeaway. You can't fake love, stability, or happiness. You can't rewrite history with polished posts or cryptic captions. And you certainly can't win by trying to tear someone down when they've built their life on authenticity and integrity. Melody's life is doing all the talking, and it's louder than any social media post ever could be. She's planted, protected, powerful, and completely unstoppable. And that, my friends, is the real flex.